Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to do a little response video to the video that Arkham just put up on his Recommend Innsmouth Gazette. Okay, where you get it raw, you get the unscripted, just go at it kind of stuff, and you get to watch these crazy video games. Um, the final, the solution to the bad modern music, literature, gaming question solved. Okay? In this, he goes over the fact that, let's be honest, and I won't argue with anybody because I'll just laugh in your face, to be frank. Uh, the new stuff that comes out of whatever you want to say, music, film, do they even make literature anymore? Like gaming, right? It's this stuff ain't as good. It's just not as good as what you had before. Okay, um, Arkham here mentions that some of his probably ability to see this greater than most in terms of being a millennial. It's also he was an outpost millennial. Right, he was in South Africa. He didn't have access to a lot of things. So coming, I guess, to where he lives now, this stark contrast between him and what he saw, okay, is very is it's just it's hard to deny. Okay, like I said, he remembers all this stuff, the '80s films, Predator, and all that, and that's what I argue with. That's what I mentioned with one of my listeners, BTD. I hope you're still around, BTD. If you're there, you were the one that had mentioned that guys our age, like Gen Xers, growing up in New York, but other places, all the stuff that we watched whether it was King Kong or the Bowery Boys or Abbas Costello or you know yeah, It's a Wonderful Life or the we had watched we would have no problems and we had seen the same media, okay, TV shows or films that people had seen since the 1930s. Black and white was not put off to us, okay, because we're Gen Xers. So Arkham had a similar sort of thing because he was from a place that didn't have as much access. So it's interesting to see that we know this. Okay? The younger kids, the Zoomers, they seem to be totally, they cannot get into. I notice it with my friends' kids too. They cannot seem to ever get into anything that's old. There's a sort of weird disconnect with them. I'm gonna say it honestly. Is it an impassable void? I don't think so, but it's gonna be pretty hard to bridge it. Okay, and you want to think why? Okay, well, like we had just mentioned with our generation, and people like Arkham, millennials who came from other places, still being able to see older media that people had. What did the Zoomers grow up with that we probably didn't, or that the millennials did rudimentarily? Obviously, the answer is digital. Okay, the platform, the thing that's in my hand right now, the platform we're looking at. These kids have all that's all they've ever known. Okay, it's literally they have the power of a home computer, except 1,000 times more powerful in their hands, and they've grown up with these things, looking at them. Okay, this has been an effect on them in ways that we've yet to see turn out. So, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think actually it's gonna be for the positive. Okay, to be frank, um, it's just in terms of the solution to just add to the end of this. What I like is that he mentions, right, look at old films, look at old things. He mentions also the N word. Oh, dude, the N word, the nostalgia. Oh, nostalgia. Okay, now I have nostalgia, right, to a degree, but I also can separate them from the things I'm nostalgic about. I can also mention that there's things that I don't remember. There's a lot of older films I didn't grow up with, genres I didn't know of, people, things I didn't see that I still discover. I still discover treasures from all different countries, all different eras of film, literature, right? Because there was literature back then. So even after the war, right? Music, I could go into a whole video on its own with that, so I won't. But you know what I'm getting at, okay? So there's still plenty of things that you could never be nostalgic for because you never saw them, and they are out there, and I discover them frequently. Okay, whether on the internet or even back in the day, even with print fanzines, man, you will find some obscure things, and there's been so much done. you could never watch everything that had been made before the turn of the damn last century. So in terms of the solution there, he's pretty adept about that. And the caveat is there are good new things that come out, and when they come out, they are a pleasant surprise. Like he had said, like Nosferatu, which I saw my buddy in Brooklyn. First movie theater time I've been in the theater since the Watchmen film. Okay, it's been a while. Amazing movie. Okay, I might do a review on it, but the fact that it was shot on film, that it was made for the big screen, it was. There are exceptions. There are good things that have come out recently. So, and when they come, they're far and few between, but they do make an impression. So, anyway, that's just some of my thoughts on the technology, the generations, the geography. All these things are connected. Okay, far too often everything is. You could look at a detail like a spur, magnify it, amplify it, and just stare at it, and it becomes something totally different than what the whole big picture is going to be. Okay, and that's another thing about. That's another thing from technology. But in terms of this stuff, yeah, man. Uh, Younger Zoomers or whoever, alphas or whatever the damn kids call, okay. Um, those of you who are cool, and there are those of you who will be, you're not gonna believe some of the cool stuff you have back there. And there's so much of it, and the one upside of this digital, from beyond, void is the ability to find these things in a way that we couldn't much easily. Okay, so of course processing that. Well, really, that's gonna be your struggle, kids. Anyway, all right, I went on way too long even on this, but I wanted to address this cool video. So hopefully, we'll get more Innsmouth Gazette videos. Come on, son, pop them out. Yeah. All right, later.